Hey, look, it's actual Super Metroid. And let you guys get situated here. I went and pre-watched the intro, so nobody has to snooze through that thing that everyone has seen like 8 billion times.
But the baby.
Yeah.
I'm just going to choose to ignore that.
Okay, that's good. Good choice. Good choice.
Alright, just double check my controls. I have dash on R, which means I don't have angle down. This will be relevant at like 3 or 4 points in the run. Oh, you're gonna have an on-screen timer. Oh well, whatever, I don't need it.
Yeah.
This run is probably not going to be super groundbreaking. And if it is, whatever, we can just go back to the tapes later and figure out what the time was.
Time, that's fine.
So this is Sears Station. Nobody likes it because it's very boring.
And very blue.
Dabba-dee, dabba-die.
Hey! I found the hatchling. Alright, we're done.
Alright, game's over. Credits
Roll
roll.
credits.
Everybody go home.
Hey, sup Ridley. So, as you can see, I have a very complicated pattern for this appearance of Ridley. It was very difficult to execute as well, as you can probably tell.
Very complicated speed strats going on.
One thing you'll notice right away is when I'm running, I am mashing the aim up button. That pushes you forward a pixel every time you do it. And so if you do it consistently over the course of the run, you can save a few seconds. At least if you're me. If you're better, you can probably save more, but regardless. Oh no, the Steam got me. That's still an okay serious escape time. So I usually end up doing arm pumping right at the beginning of the run while it's like, hey, that's a thing I should do because it makes me slightly go faster. And then about 5 minutes in, I totally forget to do it.
As one does.
And I just kind of shrug and say, whatever, it was fine. Come on, Samus, land the ship whenever you can spare the time here. Alright, contrary to every other 2D platform-esque game ever, don't go to the right, go to the left. Going to the right is a waste of time. This is also the part of the run that everyone will have seen 8 billion times if they've ever watched Super Metroid, because this beginning part is the same no matter what you're doing. 100% map, you know, just whatever. It's all this. Oh, well, I fell down. But it's not the Pit of Shame. The Pit of Shame is this pit right here that I ever so deftly jumped over. Don't fall in the Pit of Shame, you'll be sad.
You're making me sweat there for a moment.
Well, they still got a chance on the way back.
Yeah.
It's really impressive if you fall into it on the way back. That's some top tier play.
Get a very special trophy.
The morphing ball.
Marumari.
A very important first item. Because otherwise you'd have to wall jump to get out of there and that'd just be terrible.
Is wall jumping out of there technically faster?
I don't know, it's probably about a horse piece. I don't know if I've ever timed it, or talked to anybody who has timed it. Alright, so I'm gonna grab that one missile pack. There's more stuff to the right there, but we don't need it yet. It'll be fine. I'm not gonna worry about it. I don't have all the stuff I need, all the things to be able to get everything over there anyway. And part of doing 100% well is trying to avoid going to a place 8 billion times. Makes you real sad, wastes a bunch of time, you know. Alright, dodge the pit of shame on the way back too. Ha! Take that, chat. That one is not the pit of shame, that's just a pit. Alright, I'm going to try a little bit of wall jumping up the Criterion shaft here, but if I start failing it a bunch, then I'll probably start doing just the climb up the center strat, which can actually be faster if you are amazing or TAS, but you have to do like precise height jumps and ledge grabs, which are like aiming down right before you hit the ledge to kind of shoop up on it. And I don't have that level of skill. This is a very casual 100% run. I know just enough to be dangerous at this game. Alright, so Bomb Torizo, you want to have full health and no missiles. And you want to position yourself in a place that I can never quite remember. But if you do it right, I think it's aligned with this tile? So what you want to do is you want to be lined up right, you approach him, he jumps back, he spits that stuff, you grab missiles. Somewhere in the process, you shoot him 5 times, and exactly 5 times with your normal shot, so he doesn't go into this last phase here, but I miscounted. So, oops. But if you hit him 5 times with the normal shot, and then 7 missiles, you skip that last phase where, like, his head falls off, and it's really gruesome. And also, you know, you don't waste the time of his head falling off.
Brutal. Brutal.
Oh, there's a gruesome death coming up that, we won't get to see, because I'll be busy collecting a thing. This is called the Alcatraz Escape. I'm going to try it a couple of times, because it does save a bunch of time if you do it right, because you don't have to go through bomb blocks over on the right there, and it also looks super cool. Even taking 3 attempts for that, I saved more time than going to the right, because bombing through all those blocks just takes forever. This room, I'm pretty sure is called the Terminator Room. I don't exactly know why. I'm not hip with all the lingo. But I'm pretty sure that's what it's called anyway. All of the rooms in the game have names, and a lot of them are really fun. And the ones I remember, I will try to call out along the way. I had no commentary for those rooms. They were just they exist.
They were boring
as heck.
Alright, so coming up, we have a trick called the Mock Ball. And that's going to let me get super missiles early and entirely skip a really, really slow and really, really boring mid-boss. But before I do that, I like to grab this missile, because it will let me go through a door over on the other side without having to, like, grab the supers, come back around, waste a bunch of time, yada, yada, yada. I don't know if this is faster, but I prefer to do it. So, I do this the lame way and go through the door, but as you can see, I kind of maintained more speed than you'd expect for the Morph Ball, and basically that requires, like, you have to get the running start, you have to, like... Okay, hang on. I can do the inputs. I cannot talk about the inputs without thinking really hard about them.
It's a secret.
Because you have to, like, jump, and then release dash, hold jump, and then, like, do a down to forward roll as you hit the ground, I think, that sounds about right. I don't know. But it lets you keep running speed as a Morph Ball, and if you do that, you can sneak under those gates. Normally you'd need the speed booster for this, but... that reserve tank is really nice, but this super missile tank is the real prize. Because normally, you have to fight Spore Spawn to get super missiles, and Spore Spawn is boring, and nobody likes him.
Poor Spore Spawn.
In fact, Spore Spawn is so disliked that he shows up in literally 2 of the possible categories. 100% map, and Spore Spawn RTA, because they created a category to get to Spore Spawn and kill him as fast as possible, because all of the other runs basically just threw him aside. Yes, the DLC boss, Spore Spawn.
Ooh.
So I'm going to do a nice little trick over here. You bomb those out, and then you run over here, and you kind of line yourself up right. And if you see the screen shake like that, it means you took out this block that's right at the end of that little passageway, which is normally used to exit from this area. So normally you'd have to go to the top of that room, and then you'd fight Spore Spawn, and you'd fall down this very obnoxiously long shaft that's above me there, and you get the super missiles here. But I got the super missiles here, so why would I go up there and fight Spore Spawn? I don't have time for that. Come on. So that was the super missile block that you have to line it up. I don't exactly know the mechanics behind it. I think it's something along the lines of the super missile is traveling sufficiently fast that it like clips into the block when it shouldn't, and I don't know, something.
Then it despawns because it's off the edge of the screen or something.
Yeah,
like that?
so you have to scroll the screen in just the right way to coax it into actually hitting the block. If you don't, it'll either phase through it or the block won't exist, depending on which way you mess that up. Anyway, I have the Charge Beam now. That's real cool. Charge Beam is awesome. The Charge Beam is going to enable me to just completely clown on some bosses in the late game. It also lets me clown on these side hoppers, which is good. Unless I miss, but hey. If you line it up right, you can also get that shot to go through the platform, or basically kind of clip right around it and open up that gate. But it doesn't really waste too much time to have missed it, so I'm not really going to lose sleep over it. Anyway, say hello to Red Brinstar. It has a really cool soundtrack that we won't be hearing all that much of. But it's really, really moody and atmospheric, and I like it a lot. Anyway, normally you'd need the high jump to get up here, but wall jumping exists, so I'm not going to come back around for that. That's a waste of time. No. And that gets us the Spazer Beam. Spazer Beam, pretty cool. Makes my shots sound much more powerful, and it also makes my shots actually much more powerful. I kind of want that super missile. Okay. So one thing worth noting in this beginning phase of the game is I do need to make sure I maintain enough health. I want to have... Basically, I want to avoid getting into the point where it's beeping at me. Because if that happens, you enter a mode basically called Health Bomb mode, where everyone gives... Any enemy drop is health until you get above a certain threshold again. And that's not the end of beeping, it's, I believe, 50 energy. And I really, really want an enemy coming up very shortly to give me not health. I want him to refill my super missiles instead. So this room here, you missile, and you run, probably just running the spikes. And that mini crate there drops super missiles as long as you are below max super missiles and not in health bomb mode. And correspondingly, he gives me a very nice little refill there, which is something I very much want. So, say hello to Kraid.
Hi, Kraid.
Hello.
Well, you can give him some time.
Oh, right. He's a little slow.
He's a big boy, so it takes him a little while to show up. Hi, Kraid.
Hi, Kraid.
Hello.
Okay, I have no idea how to do the quick kill, but you shoot a super missile at him, and oh yeah, hi, Kraid. Open your mouth, please. So Kraid is kind of a wimp, and he dies to 3 super missiles and a normal missile.
Bye, Kraid.
Bye, Kraid. He's not a very hard boss. He doesn't stay on screen for very long. But he sure tried. Good job, Kraid. You really tried guarding that Varia suit.
Golf clap.
Yeah.
Where'd my bzoop noise
Yeah,
go?
I was disappointed.
I had the the guest Bajoop noise, but not the real Bajoop noise. Well, whatever. It's fine.
We'll get another crack at it for the gravity suit.
Yep.
Yep. So on the way back, get my rest of my super missiles back from Mini Kraid. You want to make sure you jump through that door, because if you do, these guys should be in a position that you can get out and have them not block your path. Except if you're slow, in which case they'll still probably block your path. I will be going back to this room later. Made some last-minute route adjustments when I was practicing this the other day, and realized that maybe grabbing that E-tank and refilling on energy later would be prudent to avoid me dying to, say, Fantoon, who's a big old jerk. And in fact, once I get past Fantoon, I'm basically past the point at which most things will be dangerous to me. There's a particular room after Fantoon that is probably the last sensible point I would be worried about my run ending. And because I don't want to have to redo the whole first, third of the game, I'm going to be taking a safety save before I start going toward Fantoon. Because that part is rather dangerous, and, marathon safety. So, if you'll remember, the door that was over there was locked, and I killed the dude and opened the door. Well, when you do that, the door stays unlocked, so I don't have to kill him this time around, which is good, because he's kind of out of the way on the return trip. So now we're in Norfair. It's probably a good thing I have the Varia suit, because if I didn't, this room here would be constantly damaging me, and that would be no fun. It's possible to deal with that, but it's not the best. It is more exciting than desired. So, here, we ignore common sense and take a little dip in the lava, because there's a very, very cleverly / rudely hidden missile hanging out down there. And I will never see this room again, so it's prudent to grab that now. This room has a very complicated strategy, as you can see. Depending on your speed coming in and how many times you get hit and, the alignment of the moon and Saturn and all that good stuff, you might be able to get all the way across and not have to jump over any of those platforms, but I don't know. I've never been able to get that particularly consistently. So if you do those really cool wall jumps there, you avoid this very large loop of rooms that would take multiple minutes and make everyone sad. So that wall jump is really, really, really good. And then here we have some running. Also a bunch of enemies that are blocked off by crumble blocks because, I don't know. Also, a very devious missile pack hidden in the ceiling. I've forgotten that one before and had no idea what I was missing. 99% run is not really a sensible category.
Ooh, yeah.
Anyway, you get the speed booster and...
Gotta go fast.
The lava. But wait, the lava. It's okay though. Speed booster is awesome.
Follow me.
Samus even turns blue to complete the Sonic impression.
Who wore it better?
Samus.
Yeah.
Lava.
Oh, just a quick dip.
It's fine. I'll be getting an energy tank, so pretty soon-ish. So the amount of damage I take right now isn't super worrying. It'll probably be fine. Not worry. Oh, no, I fell. It's not a huge deal. It's just a fixable problem. See? No big deal at all.
Almost seems too easy with the high jump.
There's a reason the high jump is even collected in any percent. Also, that was not quite what I wanted, but is also, again, very recoverable.
Yeah.
We get the wave beam early. Normally you need the grapple for that, but That ain't no thing. I almost made that jump. Whatever. So if you do this right, you can kind of do a jump off the slope, get a little bit of extra height, and either land on one of those platforms or kind of all the way around. I don't have that super consistent, but if you miss it, it's not really worth trying again, because just going the standard path is not that much slower. It's basically a low risk, low reward strategy there. So one thing I like to do, and I kind of forgot to do as I was on my way down, so I'm gonna have to try and nab that other guy. But as I come down and grab this missile here, try and shoot some dudes in that little tunnel, because I will be making my way through there shortly, and not having to kill them with bombs is convenient, I guess. You know, it's not the worst thing, I guess. Anyway, I have this fancy wave beam that I acquired early. Whatever could I do with this? Open that from the wrong side. And then hit that little crawler dude whose name escapes me, but whatever, they're crawler dudes, they're not that important. Because they do way less damage than the space pirates there. And fall through that room, and open this door, and we can say hello to our very special friend. Hi, Crocomire. How are you doing, buddy? I'm just crashing your party. You're just chilling, staring at the wall, or whatever it is you do for fun. I don't know.
He is drippier than I remember.
He's a very scary boss, as you can see. Has a really complicated pattern. Oh, that was weird. I could also be shooting missiles at him, but it's not really... Well, assuming I make my shots anyway, it's not really a huge deal. Oh, no. So the point to Crocomire's fight is you gotta push him back into these blocks, because Crocomire's kind of heavy, and those blocks are kind of not... They're not rated for the proper load there, so he takes a little tumble into the acid. And he has a gruesome death scene that we're going to see very little of, because I have to get this energy tank. I mean, come on, priorities.
Yeah.
Very important to get that. I mean, Crocomire is just Crocomire.
He'll be fine.
Yeah, look, he's fine.
Hey, look, he's losing weight.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
So getting that E-tank wastes 0 time, because I have to wait for him to die and those bubbles to get over here, and it's shaking. Everything's scary. It's very scary. I'm very scared.
Oh no, look out!
He's gonna get me. Oh. Well, you sure tried, Crocomire.
Yeah.
Thanks, buddy. See you later.
F for effort.
So normally, this upper left door, you have to, like, I don't know, you're supposed to grapple across that little dude whose name also escapes. I should really learn the names of the enemies at some point, but meh. Most of them don't stay on screen long enough for me to care. But normally you're supposed to grapple across there, but you can also just run and jump. You know. It's a little bit easier. Takes a lot less time. I don't have to, like, go all the way down, come back up. Plus, I need this power bomb. Right now. So I can hopefully make a jump. So if you do this right, you can catch off that lip, and then you can get this missile here. You're supposed to grapple across a whole bunch of those flying dudes to get this missile, but that's really annoying. Don't do that. That sounds like a bad time.
That sounds like effort.
It's very slow.
Yes. Also, we get this really sweet jump. Yeah. Now that I have the speed booster, you're going to see a lot of really cool jumps. And shine sparks, which is a technique that I haven't shown off yet. But you will definitely see a bunch of. So you want to try and have the right speed coming out of there so you can jump high enough to get to the other side of the room, but not so high that you unceremoniously plant your face in one of the shell dudes and, you know, fall then unceremoniously into the lava, or acid, or whichever's in that room. So here is an opportunity for a Shine Spark, if I can get it. Shine Sparks are cool. You can go really fast, and then you bonk into the wall, and then you have to wait for it to kind of unstun. But the one complicating factor with them is they do take energy, so you do need to be I crouched too early. You need to be mindful of that. I was going to try and Shine Spark to get up to the top of this room super fast, but in the absence of that, wall jumping works just as well. So, Shine Sparks, for the uninitiated, you just get to speed booster speed, and then you crouch, and then when you jump, you... like that. And if you jump and immediately press left or right, you'll horizontally, and if you press jump and immediately press one of the shoulder buttons, you will do so diagonally. And we will see all three varieties of Shine Spark in this. They're all useful. I'm kind of surprised I got that shot, because I was not at the momentum I was expecting coming out of grabbing the item, and so I just ad-libbed that, and it somehow worked. I'll take it. Anyway, I have these fancy power bombs now, which are cool. I'm glad to have those. Ooh. And there's a cheeky little missile tank hanging out in Crate's lair that I needed the power bombs for. So we're going to take a quick pit stop back in here. Also, I'll probably actually check out that room over there, too. I mean, that might be important. Maybe. Maybe. Anyway, you run over this way, drop a power bomb. It'll probably take out some of the key hunters, which are one of the enemy names I actually do remember. And get this very, very, very rude missile. Because there's really no indication that that's there. As much as I love this game, some of the item locations are kind of obtuse and rude and mean. And we go in here, we get the quad kill. You let them all latch up, you equip missiles, you fire a missile straight up, somehow that causes it to hit their hitbox, and because they're all latched onto you, and therefore overlapping, the missile hits all of them at once. Physics. Anyway, it is now time for, at least for my skill level and routing, the scariest part of the game, and the only part in my route that I'm really worried about dying. If I can get past this, the rest of it should be fine. I also forgot to get the ice beam. Alright. We're gonna go with this. This is unorthodox and not how I normally run this, so this could get exciting. I'm gonna have to do a little bit of wall jump trickery. I do have the high jump, which improves things a little bit. Makes this significantly easier. I still like to try and super missile these guys, because they very much get in the way. Because basically what I need to do is shoot that block, and then restart the wall jump, and make that like that. That was actually a lot better than I was expecting it to go.
Nice.
Oh, I almost did that right. I almost did a really cool damage boost technique, and then it kind of backfired. So I wasted all of the time I would have saved by doing it. But it looked cool for about a quarter of a second. Alright. More damage booster. That's about half marks. That's fine. So this is the first power one you're supposed to get, and it really wants you to try that out right away. Because, I mean, of course, why wouldn't you want to try out your new technology? So normally what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to get the ice beam. Well, you're supposed to get the speed booster. With the speed booster, you can get the ice beam. With the ice beam, you can come back up here and get the power bombs. And then with the power bombs, you go back to the hallway where the ice beam was, and then you can get the fight Crocomire and get the grapple. And then with the grapple, you can go and fight our good buddy Fantoon, who has a decent chance of ruining my day. Even if the fight goes well, he's still a colossal jerk and can arbitrarily waste a whole bunch of time. And again, he's enough of a problem that I'm going to take the safety save. Because even if he's not a problem, there's a room immediately after that could instead be a problem. So, best not to mess with it. What? Why? Samus, drop the power bomb. Thanks. Samus peeking above that. Hi, Samus.
I see you.
Alright, so we're going to do a really slick Shine Spark strategy here. But it does require a modified running technique called the short charge. So normally that distance is too short for you to actually be able to get to speed booster speed. But due to the mechanics of how that works, if you take a few steps or move a little bit at normal speed and then start holding run partway through, you could... that's really inconvenient. Get out of here. If you do that, then you can manage to trick basically the way that it determines if you get speed booster speed and get it in a shorter distance than normal, which is really useful for things like that, like we just saw. Whoop. Really? I got hung up a little bit at the beginning of the room, and so the ghosts were all spawning in the wrong places. Because they sort of try to trail where you are. Anyway. These ominous flames.
That's probably nothing.
I'm sure nothing could go wrong with this.
Magus? No, wait.
It's Fantoon. Fantoon, you jerk. Also, what? He did give me a fast pattern. I botched firing missiles at his face, but... I fired that fourth one too fast. So how it works is you can fire, I think, 2 missiles per, like, basically sweep as he goes around the room. And... what? Come on. And if you time it right, you can end up getting a whole bunch of shots at him. And then on that last one, you can do... Basically, you can kind of run towards him and coax a bunch of extra shots in and do a whole bunch of damage. So if you do that right, you can do this fight in like 3 cycles, which is pretty good. If you're Tass, you can do some goofy stutter stepping to like basically Doppler effect missiles him entirely to death and one cycle him. But, you know, I'm not that good. I don't have that level of frame-perfect control on the controller, so I guess we'll just opt for a more conventional strategy, and a fairly poorly executed conventional strategy at that. I'm really bad at Fantoon, if you couldn't tell. What? Okay, well, he's dead. It's a fight. Woohoo! That went okay.
Bye, Fantoon.
Bye, Fantoon. You're a jerk, and I hate you. Please go away. Please go away and stop haunting this ship. Oh wait, actually you haunting the ship was reducing the power and now everything's way more dangerous. Oops.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so that didn't go terribly, but unfortunately we're not out of the woods yet. There's another room coming up, which is extraordinarily dangerous. There are things in that room that do a full E-tank of damage to me.
Ooh.
And moreover, due to physics, if you are in the wrong frame of animation, instead of using them like a platform as you're supposed to, you can accidentally clip through them. And when you clip through them, you get to the pointy side of the platform, which means that you take the damage. I have lost a bunch of runs accidentally clipping through. Also, Chad is informing me that that is the spiky death room, and that is extremely appropriate.
It's very clever.
That is exactly what that room is. And that is probably the last room that is liable to end this run. So if I get past that, we should be home free, minus some sort of truly catastrophic event. The other nice thing about the wrecked ship, though, is it's not very large, and it has a high concentration of useful things, like super missiles. Okay. At one point in time, I had a fairly consistent strategy for this room, but I appear to have remembered it. Cool.
Nice.
All of my practice runs that I was doing earlier in the week, I was having no end of trouble with that. So, from here on, I'm not terribly worried about dying and losing the run. Ow. Because this room, I'm sure you can guess what it has. It has a thing I wanted. An E-tank to refill my energy. So from here, the amount of worry is basically 0. Because 5 E-tanks is a bunch of E-tanks. That's plenty. Even if I massively botch the spiky death room return trip, which has happened. Ow! Heck. Even if I had botched it, I had just gotten the full energy refill, so I would still be fine. And there's going to be a bunch of E-tanks coming up in the relatively near future that I would basically be able to use to just undo any problems I caused for myself. So it'll all be fine, is basically what I'm trying to say. What? That didn't quite go through the door. So the technique for this is you want to drop a power bomb basically right as you're coming in, because you end up taking out basically the welcoming party. And you kill some other dudes, because this room has locked doors, so you have to kill everything before you can leave, unfortunately. So the general trick is you open up that door, and by the bylaws of locked doors, that'll stay unlocked. It's all in the regulations, you know. And that way I can just plow through that room at top speed on the return trip. In this room we have these adorable robots that are really doofy. And if you plant a bunch of missiles into them, they get out of your way.
They are very conveniently shaped like punching bags.
You can also beam. I think beaming is slightly slower. Also, I have 8 billion missiles to burn, so whatever, I might as well use them. It's not like I'm going to use most of those missiles in the rest of the game. Hey, you're not blocking the door. Thanks, buddy.
How convenient.
What a bro.
He was just looking out.
Mm-hmm.
So this room features a really cool diagonal shine spark right into a missile. Also, you get
Nice.
multiple sand missiles.
Oh, wow.
Don't worry about that. It's fine. And then this very intuitively located block. It is also, unfortunately, a super missile block, so if you're not fast on the return trip, you can end up having to burn 2 supers, which is, I don't know, not a huge deal, but it's mildly sad. Whew! Just made that.
Nice.
So, more missiles that I can fire at doofy robots. And we have these dangerous pancakes, the very same ones that ended a bunch of my King of Kraid runs. And here we have the bowling alley. Why is it called the bowling alley, you ask? Well,
Because you're going to play curling.
it turns out the Chozos were really, really fond of bowling. But they forgot to set up pins, so maybe they should work on that for the next iteration of this.
I think that's a fall. You took more than 5 steps.
Don't you hate it when, like, you're
I'm
just...
pretty sure going into a secret passage is also illegal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, whatever.
Mark it at 0.
You tried.
Like, don't you hate it when you're about to bowl and you just go through the floor?
Hey, more of these guys. What's up, friends? How are you doing? Can you please get out of my way? Thanks. And we get more missiles that at this point we're probably not going to use. And I'm charging a Shine Spark. Hey, look at that. Secrets. And that is the second of 4 reserve tanks. And item number, I honestly have no idea. I missed all 3 of those, jeez. I was trying to do a technique called Fast Fall, where if you're in the right frame of animation, coincidentally the same frame of animation that would let me clip through those spike platforms, you will fall through the crumble blocks way faster than you should.
There we go.
Hey, there's our
We got
noise.
Nice.
Alright, so return trip out of this, you just kind of run so you get some distance on here. I now have the gravity suit, so the amount of jerkishness from fish is much lower than in King of Kraid / Super Metroid Arcade, whatever you feel like calling it. This time you're calling it a thing. Because I have the intended damage reduction from the gravity suit. Also, I clipped that door, so that's unfortunate. I'm not going full speed to make it across the lake. If you jump at the right time after that transition with the correct amount of speed, you can just sort of go through, and it's nice. Going through this door here is why I dropped that power bomb right away when I came in the room. Because I'd be making a return trip. Might as well make it easier for myself. Power bombs are slow. They're powerful, but they're slow. And then I saved this room for later because I have the gravity suit, so if I botch this, I'm not in danger of ruining my Phantoon fight. Also, this room demonstrates one of the weird quirks with the power bomb, because some of those side hoppers are likely dead, but probably not all of them. Yeah. So the reason that is because... Oh, damn it. The reason that is because the power bomb actually deals 2 hits. Which is strange, I know, but basically, depending on where the side hoppers are, they might take only one of the 2 hits, and because they're moving around all bonkers-like, they will, you know, sometimes just sort of not be in the right place. I don't know, they're jerks. Jerks, the lot of them. Huh. I guess I am at max super missiles. Huh. Neat.
Zoom.
So those cack attacks there, which is a great name. I love that enemy name. They are guaranteed to drop supers, or maybe not guaranteed, all but guaranteed, though, to drop supers if you're not at max supers. And if you are at max supers, then they drop a big health drop. So, basically, cack attacks are cool dudes. There's also a bunch of places where they're conveniently placed to let you get extra supers, because sometimes you need those. In the meantime, hey, this looks familiar, doesn't it? Whoa, hey! We've gone full circle.
Surprise!
And now you know why there's the just checking bonus points over there. Yeah,
Just be like, we're not just checking anymore.
So now we can finally see what's over in this mysterious room. It's some enemies and like power-ups and stuff. There's also this E-tank hidden in the ceiling, which is a nice callback to the OG Metroid, which had a very similar E-tank in a very similar location. It's much harder to grab it in that, though. Alright, so this room here is the primary reason why I want to have the gravity suit, because if I don't make that jump from the door, I need the gravity suit to be able to get back up there, up to that very, very rude, completely invisible platform.
Is that the only invisible platform in the game?
I think so, yeah.
So weird.
Also, that missile tank in the lower left, also very rude. That's another one that's very easy to forget if you don't know it's there, and can ruin your 100% run and turn it into a 99% run. Especially because there's no indication it exists. So that cleans up Blueburn Star. We're never going to be coming back here after this. So say bye, Blueburn Star.
Bye, Blueprint Star.
Well,
Soon.
shortly.
Yeah.
In a few rooms.
Gonna do the Midwest goodbye.
Oh wait, one more thing.
Okay, actually, bye this time for real. No, I gotta go. And we say hello once again to Crateria and these dudes. And I just narrowly avoided the pit of shame. Yeah.
Didn't want to say anything.
3 for 3. But wait, there's a cheekily hidden thing underneath the old Mother Brain husk. I don't know what you'd call that. The lack of tube. This thing. I just realized I don't have the ice beam right now, and that complicates this significantly. So I'm not entirely sure if I'm gonna be able to do this right now. I might have to figure out an alternate routing.
Is there enough room for a short charge?
Over on that other side, I don't
Yeah.
think so.
Huh?
All right. We're gonna come back to that. It's not ideal, to say the least, but we'll work our way through it. What could that door be?
It's probably nothing.
Yeah.
It's like a restroom or something.
Yeah, I don't know, probably nothing important. So, that's monumentally annoying. Completely missing the ice beam is totally throwing off my route right now. I'm gonna blame it being 2:58 a.m. and my brain probably not firing on all cylinders. Just probably a reasonable thing to blame it on, let's be honest. So that'll probably waste maybe not a minute, but probably 45 seconds to come back down there and quick grab that later on. Not the end of the world, certainly, but not ideal. Then again, on my practice run, I ended up having to do the Craterian Gauntlet twice, which is a huge time waste. That's like 2 minutes of wasted time on that. So if that one super missile tank, spoilers, that's what that was, that I couldn't get, is the only major goof in this run, it'll still probably be a pretty good run. Anyway, so I had a Greenburn Star. I haven't seen you in a bit. And I always do that. I always forget that you need to go to the right off the platform to avoid platforms. That sentence made sense in my head, okay?
Yeah, I mean, you avoided the platforms. Well, tried to.
Yeah.
But forgot
So I
to.
could get another quad kill here, but, you know, I don't have time for that, so whatever. It's very, 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 very important that you make that jump. And you'll see why in the return trip. But first, more super missiles. Because those are really cool, and I like having a bunch of them. So I can mostly not use them, but hey. But yeah, there's invisible drop, and that's a real bad time. You don't want to miss that, because having to go all the way around is a huge time waste. Also, I could kill them latched on, the dudes latched on me, but whatever. They're not doing nearly enough damage to cause actual alarm. Those guys down there are the Edacoons. They teach you how to wall jump. But I know how to wall jump, so they just sort of jump up and down at the bottom of the room because I scrolled them off screen too fast. They're just kind of like, oh, well, I guess we have no point, do we? If you can do a mock ball there, it's really tough. The inputs for that are super precise. But if you do that, you can get all the way across without having to land on that lower platform and kind of come back up. But I don't have the knack, so it doesn't really waste that much time. I'm not really losing that much sleep over it. And coming up here, we have a Shine Spark. And I bet you're wondering, why didn't I just run? There was no real reason to do that, right? Well, it turns out, there's a... I did that one tile off. It turns out that there's a bunch of speed booster blocks on the floor which take you to the Dachora, which is the other sort of cute little helper critter. And that wastes time, because now I'm down there, and I wanted to be up here. So that power bomb I laid earlier, that is meant to be very precisely placed, such that it blew up all of the blocks that I went through to get into this little set of rooms here, and that it opens up a power bomb door over on the other side of the room, over this way, which will now be blue. So it saves a little bit of time, because I kind of used the power bomb for two purposes. Anyway, you have to kill everything in this room to unlock the doors. Obviously, open up both doors when you do so. And if you do the morph right, doing the wall jumping to get that gate open, then you can just kind of mid-air morph right through and not have to jump up twice, which is pretty slick. Looks kind of cool, too. The intended fashion, of course, is to use that grapple block, and you spin around a bunch and try and line it up perfectly so you land on the top of the block, and then you shoot the thing with the wave beam and actually blah, blah, blah. It's annoying. Anything involving grapple is kind of annoying, to be honest. Or you can just wall jump like the cool kids do. So, it is possible to get this energy tank without the gravity suit. That chunk of land up there is enough for a short charge. Anyway, on the way back you charge up a shine and you can do a cool diagonal shine spark back. Nice. Aw, yes. Don't worry, there's going to be way more super, super cool diagonal shine sparks where that came from. Just you wait. And with that, Brinstar is 100% cleared out. We will not grab another item in Brinstar because they are all already grabbed. They're all gone. We will pass through... Actually, ha 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 ha. I lied to you. There is, in fact, exactly one more item in Brinstar, and I always forget about its existence because it's useless. Unless you're doing, like, super glitchy, any percent stuff. If you know how to use it, you can do some real broken stuff with it. But, in the context of not glitching the game horribly to death, it is useless, and I will never intentionally use it. And note that I use the word intentionally there because I have accidentally used it before, and it's really annoying because you basically pause the game for a moment and have a split second of, wait, why did this happen? It's not a great time. I don't recommend it. So there's this bomb block up here, and you might think, oh, well, you could just power bomb it and save a little bit of time. Don't do that, because you'll raise one of those little gates, and it's annoying, because then you have to wait for the gate to go back down, and you fall asleep at some point in that period of time, because it takes 18 years or so. Baby Metroid ends up just mothering a gigantic family of Metroids in the interim. You know, it's a bad scene. Don't let that happen. Oh, that's not power bombs. Okay, now I'm done lying to you. Now that is actually all of the items in Prince Star. Also, all of these rooms are very not scary now that you have the gravity suit. The primary scare factor of, oh no, all of this water and spikes, is just kind of, the spikes barely do any damage, and the water is obviously a non-issue. Do I need the ice beam for anything in Meridia? I don't think so? I guess we're gonna find out. Because I'm going on. We're really in uncharted territory right now with this not ice beam business. Anyway, this spot up here is just long enough for a short charge, if I can do it correctly. And you want to do this short charge. Alright. Get out of here, crab. I have important business to do. So you do this short charge, you line up off that platform, and you get the Main Street missile. The way you were intended to do that is go to a side room, you open up a gate, that room with the gate opened has enough space for you to charge up your Shine Spark. You then go back into this room, hopefully you line it up on the ground correctly, and then you get the missiles. But if you screw that up, then it turns out you have to re-go back into that room and reopen that gate, which, on the face of it, doesn't sound that terrible until you realize that that gate takes a super missile. And so, in general, you are in a very finite limit of attempts until you have to go kill a bunch of things to get super missiles, and that wastes a whole bunch of time. Or, you know, you can just short charge, and it's a total non-issue. I misjudged this extremely rude missile location. Ugh. Also, if you're not at the right speed, you can kind of fall right through it, which is not great. But that one has no indication that it exists.
Yeah, that's just kind of buried silently there.
Yep. There's more than a few missiles that are just kind of, yeah, hey, shoot this arbitrary block. And hey, presto, there's a missile. It's a little rude. Anyway, I'm sure you'll remember this room from all the times I died in it in Super Metroid Arcade. They changed that layout a little bit to have the missile right there rather than over here, because obviously the room transition would prevent you from grabbing that at all, which would be kind of sad. So they just basically shortened this little standalone tunnel thing. Worked out fine. Anyway, get ready. It's my favorite Shine Spark in the game.
Ooh.
Oh boy.
You just Shine Spark right up Mount out of
Very
Everest.
pretty.
You just bonk right into that corner and it's great.
It's beautiful.
There are some really cool Shine Spark techniques that you can do that are both fast and look amazing, and aren't generally all that hard, because you just kind of, like, I somersaulted into the wall, and then I did a wall jump off of it, and then immediately off of the wall jump I did the diagonal Shine Spark. So it's not that hard to pull off, and it looks really cool, and it is super fast, because that room is extremely obnoxious otherwise. These missiles are sort of rude, I guess. Not that rude. Like a 3 out of 10 on the rude scale. They show up on the rude scale, but they're not that bad. And it makes up for it by having a missile and a super missile right next to each other. They're friends. And now they're friends of mine. Hello, friends.
Friends.
Until the end, when you
Yeah.
fire them.
So speaking of items, if I recall, you can get over 100% in this?
Yes, through super shenanigans. And if I finish early, I can show some of that off because, I don't know, why not?
Yeah, I was kind of curious because, like, that kind of would suggest that there are, extra items that you could choose whether or not to get in order to get a total of 100%.
Due to the nature of how you get above 100%, that's not really the case. But
really?
I'll depending on how long this takes, which I think we're on time to have a little bit of extra time to fool around with stuff. But depending on how long this takes, I'll try and show some of that off, because it is kind of goofy and interesting. Okay, that second one, if you saw me fall way faster through it, that's the fast fall that I was referring to.
Nice.
I'm sure there's some proper knack to doing it right for the professional runners, of which I am obviously not. Zost, if he were watching, would be very disappointed in my performance.
So one of those shine sparks up, though, if you could have gone back down through the blocks before they reformed, right? The speed booster blocks?
I think it's possible to soft lock yourself in
Yeah,
those speed
if
booster
you're
blocks
not
if you're
quite
not
as fast.
if you're not careful. But I think that generally involves. Oh, I thought that was the last one, but that was the last one. Bye, Botwoon. Thanks for putting up a fight, I guess.
Thanks for coming into work today.
Yeah, that was a very battle.
10 supers to his face is enough to end his life. And hey, we can get this energy tank, which would normally require an obnoxious morph ball maze on the right, or you can just mid-air morph into the exit part from the left. Alright, so we're going to open this door, and I'm going to try a trick, and I'm probably going to fail it because it's really hard. What you do is you charge that shine, you wall jump really fast,
Nice.
and I pull it off. This is the
beautiful.
halfie.
The halfie?
The halfie because it gets you halfway through the room. If you are even more top tier at wall jumping than that, you can get into the room, jump, and then do a mid-air horizontal shine spark, which can get you all the way across the room, which is called...
The full halfie.
Correct.
I've seen quite a few of these.
I was hoping you hadn't, so that I could...
Oh,
I was
sorry.
hoping
Did
for the fully, and like, nope, it's the full halfie.
Oh,
But you ruined
I
it.
stole your thunder. I'm sorry.
Don't worry about it.
That
Speaking of things that the proper speedrunners would be disappointed in me for doing, I'm going to use the cheese strat for Dragon, because Dragon is annoying. All of the good players do Shine Sparks, which requires not an ordinary short charge, but a super short charge, which is like you tap run at periodic points in the animation at like the right frame of animation to trick the... Like that, yeah. That was exactly what I wanted.
Nice.
So you do like that and do horizontal shine sparks in Dragon, and it's a great time. Or you can do the cheese strat. You let Dragon pick you up, and you have your grapple ready, and you wait a whole bunch.
So I always thought this was the normal casual strat. To kill him this way. Instead of just shooting the heck
This
out
is
of him.
this is definitely the cheese strat. You fry Dragon with the electricity and from the turrets in the room.
cheese.
Delicious cheese.
Bye, Dragon.
Alright, thanks for playing.
Yep.
The best part about that strategy is it's actually not that slow. If you can't do the Shine Spark strategies, it's actually probably one of the faster ways to kill Dragon. Ugh. That's not what I wanted. So fortunately, I have the space jump, which makes the return trip through this room a bit less obnoxious. And then we have the rest of Meridia, a little bit of cleanup here. Unfortunately, the nature of the cleanup in here requires us to basically make 2 loops through this upper part, which is kind of annoying. So you're going to see that little sand fall room twice, unfortunately. On the plus, we get to mess with these goofy shell dudes. Oh yeah.
What? They just bounce around and make noise and that's it?
And if they're out of their shell and run into you, you'll take damage.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, they're really goofy. I just need to know how I would like you to draw me. Shrug? I was unprepared for questions of this nature. Draw me like a like a person. I don't know.
I'm sorry. Not really, though.
I honestly have no idea how to answer that question. Can anybody else present provide advice for question answer period ding?
I think it's pixel art headshots thing.
Oh.
I believe. That a very generous artiste offered to make for us while we're doing this.
That is super awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Zero CDI. So this is the Shack tool, and he takes a while to do stuff. So basically every speedrunner ever just does, you know, dopey things like this. Just sort of, morph balling, oh man. Because you have to wait for the Shack tool to dig through all this sand, and it takes forever.
Oh, and it can deal damage to you.
Yeah, if you run into the actual digging implement parts of him, you'll take damage.
This is the auto-scroller of Super Metroid.
It is. You're not wrong.
Yeah.
It's okay, though. He's guarding, well, okay, not a super important item, but a pretty cool item. A useful item. The spring ball. Yeah, I don't have a character, so I guess just make my face look like my face. There was a split second in there, and I don't know why. I apparently suddenly thought I was playing, like, Samus Returns or AM2R or Zero Mission, where there's, you know, the ledge grab. Apparently, I decided that I was needing to ledge grab the ledge, and I don't know. Wires getting crossed in my brain, I guess.
Samus Returns had the ledge grab?
Yeah.
Huh.
In fact, it uses it pretty extensively. There's a bunch of like missile blocks and stuff that you have to ledge grab off a nearby ledge to have an angle at it.
Huh. I guess I didn't play enough that game to realize.
Also, we get this super cool vertical elevator thing.
Very fast.
Which takes us back up to Upper Meridia, for lack of a better term. And in this area is an amazing thing that everyone wants. Also, this room that we saw multiple times and ended multiple Metroid arcade runs.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up? What's up, pancake guys? Jerks.
Not quite as threatening now.
That quarter, or 3/4, I guess, damage reduction to 1/4 damage taking, I guess. I don't know. The gravity suit is an amazing thing. That's really what I was getting at. And the lack of gravity suit is why Meridia is so frightening in Metroid Arcade, because everything, all the damage numbers are basically tuned under the assumption that you are hanging out with the gravity suit, and therefore the numbers get reduced back down to reasonable. Unfortunately, Metroid Arcade hands out the gravity suit very, very rarely, which is unfortunate, because then you end up just taking 120 damage from a freaking crab and dying because, yeah. Okay. There was a split second where I wasn't sure if I grabbed a missile, but it has a map tell, so I'm pretty sure I did grab it. Also, what's up, water cactax? They're blue to match the water. But they're just as much a bro as all the rest of the cactax, and they're the same, pretty much guaranteed to give you a super missile, guys that you know and love. And hey, this room is familiar, isn't it?
Yeah.
Back around we go. This room is also familiar. All of the things are great. But fortunately, we are almost done with Meridia, basically forever. And I say that because at the very, very end of the game, we're going to cut through Meridia basically as a shortcut to get back to where we wanted to go. Also, we're just going to kind of nail that guy to the top of the pipe for a little bit, and then just sort of casually discard him into the sand pit. We will never see him again. Bye, friend. Or not friend, whatever. As you're coming down here, doing aim down or sort of, late... that was not what I wanted. Do an aim down to shoot that block, or just hold left and down if you're me and don't have a proper aim down button. And here's where the spring ball starts to show some use. One very nice thing about the spring ball is if you're holding jump, you continually bounce.
Nice.
This has some very practical uses for things like crumble blocks, because you can just off of them. And there are at least 2 locations that the spring ball can be very, very, very useful to avoid accidentally falling through a crumble block prematurely. One of them, I may not actually use it, but I'll point out where it is, and the other, I absolutely will be using it because it's immensely useful and reduces an obnoxious morph ball section to hold right and jump for a bit until you get to where you want to go. Which is a bit better. So the one nice thing about accidentally not Ice Beam is I can actually end up where I want to go slightly more conveniently. Because we'll basically end up where I was going to take a different route to get to Lower Norfair anyway. So, theoretically, other than the time lost from that stupid super missile that I'm going to have to go back and get, this might actually end up at least canceling out some of that time due to the slightly added efficiency of not coming through or being able to come out of this area sort of close to where I wanted to go.
And you can't get that super during escape, right?
You cannot, correct.
Because that door is
It's
sealed.
During the escape, any on the critical path doors besides exactly one.
Right.
Can't imagine what that exactly one could be. Wow, this is much easier with the plasma. Anyway, I'm gonna just casually charge up a shine and shine spark through the door. No big deal. Hey, who put that there?
That was always the worst one for me to try to get.
I've found that shine spark strat lets me get that very consistently. And so in my normal route, what I'd do is I'd freeze the guy on the way down, and then freeze the other guy on the platform to avoid going through the crumble blocks and then come back the way I came. But in this case, I actually want to go the intended route, scarily enough, because my other path would have led me down that door there. So I'm basically right back to where I would be. Pretty nice. I like to take that energy recharge if I'm kind of low, and it turns out in this case I was especially low, so it was a very good idea to take that. So all the cool kids have some sort of weird technique where they like super short charge in here, and then they'd like damage boost off that guy, and the damage boost carries you all the way to the bottom of this like lava pit, which gravity suit lets you lava without taking damage, which is kind of nice, but is kind of undocumented. And by kind of undocumented, I mean it hints at that being a thing in the attract sequence if you let that go long enough.
Huh.
There's a whole bunch of things hidden in the attract sequence if you watch it long enough in this game. It's really cheeky. So you want to do it. You want to do a short charge here for multiple reasons. Not least of which is you get to go fast, and also because you're speed boosting, all of those fire pillars and goofy dragon guys and all the other stuff won't have an opportunity to cause harm. Which means that you don't get hit and lose your massive speed. Which is probably what you want if you want to go fast. Fun fact about that little, like, acid pit thing. If you don't do the Chozo thing, there's an actual plug at the bottom that prevents you from going down. Bonus fun fact about the Chozo thing there, if you don't have the space jump, it ignores you. Anyway, let us all prepare for the hardest and scariest and my favorite mid-boss of the entire game. Are you ready for this?
Oh, sorry.
Brace yourselves for a really, really hard fight.
I'm
You
holding
ready?
on.
Are you ready?
Clenching up.
Alright, jump back, buddy. Oh, and... Alright. I shall now perform this fight with my eyes closed.
Oh.
Oh, blind run all of a sudden.
I've never seen that happen before. Now,
He's not seeing it happen either.
Alright. Bye, Gold Chorizo.
Yo.
Thanks for playing, buddy.
Bye-bye.
That fight made possible by really bad hit detection.
The Battletoads School of Thought.
Except it's bad hit detection in our favor.
Yeah, that is true.
How anti-Battletoads. Things aren't allowed to be in the player's favor, I'm pretty sure. That's not how that works.
It's not how RNG goes.
Alright, so I want to... Oh, I took a hit through the door. Fascinating. I want to get a running start because with the screw attack, I can just get through that nice and easy. And then this room right here, it's my favorite room name across speedrunning Super Metroid. It is the worst room in the game. That is literally what the speedrun community calls it. And the only reason it looks trivial is because I have space jump and screw attack. If you have neither of those things, then that room is actually going to live up to its name. Also, the Mickey Mouse missile.
Oh. Missile Mouse.
Say about it, the Mickey Mouse missile.
Bye, dead mouse.
Nah. Here all night.
And all day.
And all day, and maybe some of the following.
Oh, man. Alright, so this is the amphitheater. And if you're really precise with your space jumping, you can lose height on your space jumps. Odd that that's harder than gaining height, because the space jump in Super Metroid is notoriously a bit finicky. Weird. And then we have these very, very, very rude red key hunters, the Lower Norfair key hunters. They are not freezable, so they just sort of do their thing.
They are destructible.
They are. 2 charge shots will get them, but that's because I have the best weapon in the game in the Charge Ice Wave Charge Ice Wave Plasma, sorry. Which, it turns out, will kill any boss in, at most, 20 charge shots. It's pretty good. And in fact, the remaining bosses will be killed in 20 charge shots. It does a lot of damage. It's very good. It's what you crave. All right. So here we have the Kung Fu Pirates.
Oh.
I can't imagine why they're called that. I don't think they're actually called that. They're like the Metal Pirates or something, but they're the Kung Fu Pirates in my heart. They're only damageable when they're dive kicking. So it's actually foreshadowing for the game Dive Kick. Truth facts.
How many years in the past?
Yeah. Today I learned.
Let's see, 94 versus, what was that, 2014? 20 years, maybe?
Yeah.
That's right.
It's some next level foreshadowing.
It's
Anyway,
pretty
hi
good.
Ridley.
Hi, Ridley.
2, 3, 4. Nope, still 3. 4,
Kafai.
5, 6. Tail. 7, 8. Tail. 9, 10. 11. So if you see that color change that you just made, that's your 11th shot. So if you lose count, you can use that as a guide. You're now at 14. That hit the tail. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. So it turns... Oh, that might not have been 20. He should have died there if he picked me up. I'll shoot him once more for good measure. Ridley,
He's really
Ridley,
trying.
you stop being a jerk and pick me up.
Yeah. So even faster than supers, huh? Maybe?
I'm not sure. I think supers might be better DPS, but I can never remember how many I have to plug into them. Anyway, Ridley, it turns out, is really, really determined to kill Samus. Really, really determined. After the 20 shots, he's at 0 health. But he still fights on, because he's a jerk. And really wants to kill Samus, I guess. I don't know. So to force him to die, you have to have him pick up Samus, and it's easier to coax him into doing that if you're balled up. Otherwise, he can fight on for quite a while, and I think it's random as to when he actually decides to give up the ghost. So you can fight at 0 health for a while. Also, if you shoot these guys at the right timing as you pass through them, you can cancel out their hit detection and just sort of keep going. I don't know. Don't ask questions. It's physics, clearly.
Yeah.
The Desgigas are dangerous and very large. So at this point, all of the major bosses are dead. All that's left is Mother Brain. And, you know, some item cleanup between here and the end game. What?
Don't forget those supers.
Yep.
Criteria.
Those pesky supers that I have to go back for. Because I wasn't paying attention and forgot to get the ice beam. Top tier pro play. MLG all up in here. Anyway, that is energy tank number 13, and overall item number, I don't know, probably like 80-something? Let's call it 80-something.
Yeah.
Maybe 90-something. I'm not quite sure. I think it's more in the mid-80s. Also, that wall there does not show up on the X-ray scope as, like, not existing. And when I was a kid, I had no idea how to get out of this place because of that. I need to drop a power bomb, jeez.
Hotel California.
And the only reason I found that exit is because I basically resorted to just trying to bomb every single wall. And when I went up to try and bomb that wall, I kept going. It was very mysterious. Very strange.
I could never figure out how to get this one as a kid. Always came through that door on the left and be like,
What is this? Yep.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that goofy morph ball maze up there, if you have the spring ball, it is literally just hold right and jump for a bit until you get to the... Oh, I was expecting that to kill my momentum. Those slopes coming out of that door are weird, and for whatever reason, it likes to catch Samus and kill any semblance of momentum you had going. Here we have the missile tank missile.
Yo, dog.
I don't remember what that's actually called. And then here we have the Three Musketeers. 1, 2, and 3. Fortunately, the screw attack is an amazing thing and just takes care of all of them for me. Wow, none of the fast falls there. What? So, you probably didn't realize, because it never actually shows up on screen, but there's a door hanging out over here. And now that I have all of these fancy things, let's go check it out. Also, a very, very rudely hidden secret room hanging out over here. And also, he got hit by a second shot. I like to leave that guy frozen. But I think the slowdown threw off my timing. Oh well. Oh. Also, that's rude. You never would have expected that to be shootable in a missile tank. So, with that, this missile here is the last one in Norfair. So once we get out of here, we are done with this place, this hot lava-y zone. Lava-y is a word, right?
It is now.
Yeah.
Alright, cool, we're going with it.
Call Merriam-Webster. Get him on the horn. Say, hey, we got a new word for you.
Can put it right next to, I had a word in my head and all of a sudden it fell out. Whatever. Doesn't matter. There was some other made-up word lately that, I was gonna use. Shrug? Anyway, we can say bye to Norfair now, which is good, because it's dangerous and there's lots of things that want to kill me. And now we don't have to worry about them. They're gone. Bye, not friends.
Yeah.
So, I'm trying to figure out the best way to incorporate that, that remaining super missile I have to go get. I think I'm still going to take my normal route up this way, and then just quick shoop over and grab it. Anyway, I can cut through Meridia here, which is slightly faster, because I don't go quite as far to the left and then back to the right. I just kind of go up, mostly. That Shine Spark is nice and saves a bunch of time, because, I don't know, space jumping to gain height is kind of slow. Because you have to do that sort of like group, and then you fall a little bit, and then sinusoidal-esque pattern. It's time-consuming. But anyway, we're really on the home stretch now. There is... Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 items left? At least assuming I didn't forget something like a terrible person. And if I did, well, we get to play the uh-oh, what did I forget game. That's not a fun game to play, you don't want to play it. So, we're gonna take a quick pit stop at the ship for multiple purposes.
Alright, we out of here.
Not quite, unfortunately.
No. Alright, that's right.
Okay, all of the item numbers check out. We are going to save here. Not as a safety save, I'm not worried about dying in the endgame or anything like that. But primarily as a method to do some other madness later. Anyway, we can do this really slick diagonal Shine Spark and get that weird, like, diagonal pattern in the map. Which, if you line that up right, is fun, because that's basically impossible to get in any other fashion, other than a Shine Spark of that nature. And get the final power bomb. We have all 50. All 50 of them are accounted for. And then coming out of this door, you hopefully charge up a shine, and then you fall down there and you do a horizontal Shine Spark. And that horizontal Shine Spark would, if I had pulled it off correctly, take you through all of these. It's lined up perfectly. It's almost like that was intended. Anyway, this is the Criterion Gauntlet. It is a series of rooms that are really obnoxious, but if you have space jump and screw attack, you can kind of just do that, and it's way faster. And that's the primary reason why I saved this for the very end of the game, because I can just kind of whoop, 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 and it's done.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, anyway. Part 2 of the Gauntlet. Second verse, mostly the same as the first. Alright, this room here. If I do what I did here and I accidentally mess up the... I want to shoot so that it gets the top 3 layers of platform, but regardless, it is absolutely vital that I'm falling down the middle and getting both sets of crumble blocks. If I don't, I have to go all the way back around. And it's the worst waste of time. That's like a minute and a half plus.
Oh, wow.
You don't want that. It is very bad to do that. Alright, so we're gonna have to go back up. So I guess this super missile is probably gonna waste more like a minute plus. I probably, in hindsight, it being 2020 and all, should have grabbed that before I went to the gauntlet, because I was slightly closer. Unfortunately, hindsight being what it is, I forgot / didn't think of it. Oh well. Anyway, we are at 99 of 100 items. And for once, I actually want to land on that little platform. It's strange. And then line this up and freeze all those dudes. Having plasma for this is kind of nice. And then you do a diagonal off a crouch. And you do it off a crouch because that'll get you this super missile on the way up. Don't ask me why, I don't know. Physics. Just go with it. So there it is. That is all 100 items. We are at 100% and we are ready to take on Mother Brain. And I suppose Metroids. I mean, come on, everyone expected them to be there. That's not even spoilers at this point.
Oh, I thought you were Metroid.
Yeah.
Why can't Metroid crawl? Terminator room is super fun if you have Speed Booster, though. You can just kind of cruise right on through everything. Alright. And now for a music track that plays in exactly one location, and that's right here. Say hello to the Gold 4.
Hello.
3. 2.
And also, I'm just gonna fire some missiles because I can. Doesn't really matter. I'm not gonna use them. Might as well do whatever concussive damage to this room I can, because I don't know, it takes forever and I'm bored. Hey, I got below 100, look at that. So few missiles now? I didn't need any of these, it's perfectly fine. We find ourselves in Turian. And all the cool kids somehow, like, get through all of these Metroids basically without stopping. And I have no idea how... that's bad. Okay. I mean, it's fine, but it's not ideal. So, 3 power bombs will take out a Metroid, and I find that to be more reliable than trying to bomb them off. You can bomb them off, but I find that to sometimes not work, and I'm not entirely sure why. Also, sometimes you bomb them off and they're immediately like, hey, food, glom, and they glom back on you. So, it's... I don't know. I just power bomb and be annoyed at my time loss and move on. Wave beam is nice here, though, because you can freeze them through the wall. Alright, so now we find ourselves in mysterious change of environs. Also, Torizo Ono! Oh.
He didn't put up much of a fight.
Yeah.
A whole bunch of, like, corpses. Intriguing. Also, I'm gonna do some totally unrelated to anything going on item manipulation. Don't worry about it. I'm sure it's nothing. Also, that's a big old Metroid, ain't it?
Mm-hmm.
Let's just run away. Oh no, it got me. That was a really weird delay on the...
And it's
something
phasing in and out.
Yeah, something weird happened with the sound channels there. Anyway, that's the Metroid hatchling / the baby. It recognized its mother just in time. Also, yeah, something weird happened. I must have done some weird cancellation of sounds and confused it greatly. It's not trying to layer that on anymore, so whatever, it's fine. Anyway, I'm sure there's no particular reason at all that I removed both the screw attack and the Varia suit. What a strange combination of items that is, huh? I'm sure it's completely unrelated to anything that's about to happen.
Ah, your finger slipped.
Yeah, oh, definitely. And yeah, I'm not... whatever, it's fine. Don't worry about it. So that's called the Zevitite skip, and basically you kind of confuse the game's physics engine and clip through a thing you're not supposed to. Which is really nice if you do that, because all of the rest of them fail to spawn if you clip through the first one. They just didn't get the memo that they were supposed to protect Mother Brain, I guess. I don't know. Also, Mother Brain's dead. Roll credits.
Alright, let's get out of here.
Let's get out of here. Let's call it a day. Oh, wait.
Oh, surprise.
Wait a minute. That's not supposed to happen.
Oh. Also, the Mother Brain fight is great because you can end up dealing a whole bunch of damage before she even really gets the chance to attack you at all. Also, the speedrun community has named all of Mother Brain's attacks after fast food. Like, that was the Ketchup Beam. Ketchup Beam, if you're doing an any percent run, is very bad because it does 100 damage. And if you're doing any percent, you have 399 health, which is just enough for what's about to happen. Unless you're doing tricksy things like I am, in which case it would not be enough because I'm going to take 600 damage right now.
Rainbow Beam.
Care Bear Stare.
For reasons that I'm sure won't be strange at all.
So hamburgers and onion rings right there, right?
Yeah, the tater tot was on the ground,
tots.
and then the onion rings, and then the french fry is the eye laser.
Ah, right, yeah.
Pay no mind to what Samus is doing over there. It's fine.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Samus, you feeling all right?
It's totally fine. It's a non-issue. This is absolutely normal right now. There's absolutely nothing strange.
Nom 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 nom.
So, yeah, this is happening as normal. This is definitely how this scene is supposed to play out. Baby Metroid's healing Samus up, and Samus is plugging away at Mother Brain through the safety of the Metroid. Yeah, makes perfect sense, right?
Physics.
Yeah. perfect sense.
Mm-hmm.
So what I did there was called the stand-up glitch. It lets you stand up during that very lengthy cutscene, and the damage that you're doing while the baby Metroid is healing you back up is real damage for this final phase of the fight.
Ooh, right on.
So it's basically free, because you have to wait for that cutscene anyway. Bonk.
Splort.
So I guess the real question now is, do you go for that 101st item?
101st, huh?
Yeah.
Can't imagine what you're referring to.
Yeah, I mean, I've only heard rumors.
I'm pretty sure you're lying to me. I'm pretty sure there's no 101st item.
Oh, it's gotta be, man.
I don't know.
It has to be. Really? I mean, nobody would lie to me on the internet.
Yeah.
No, that's. I'm afraid you've been lied to.
I just don't know what to believe anymore.
Yeah, I don't know. I forgot to kill that dude. I wonder if he's gonna be annoying and pick me off and hit me on the way down. Not gonna let him.
Yeah.
No.
It's like, not this time.
So, remember when I was talking about these dudes having lots of health? Well, it turns out the Hyper Beam, what I'm equipped with now, does lots of damage. It's pretty convenient. It's nice of it. Also, this Shine Spark is great and saves a huge amount of time and annoyance and other good stuff. So, yeah, no, I'm sure if there were a 101st item or other sort of thing, it wouldn't be down there where the bomb Teresa was. No, certainly
wouldn't
not.
be. That seems a little too far out of the way.
That's a little far-fetched. Anyway, that's time.
Nice.
That's Super Metroid.
That's 100%.
100%. And let's see what that in-game time is. And then watch the all-important credits and do the very, very important credit thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll have probably a few minutes to do something goofy. I probably won't have time to show the percent, but I can show off a way that you can get the 101st and maybe even 102nd, 103rd,
Huh.
150th,
Now, wait a
200th.
minute. That sounds a little bit
Yeah.
far-fetched.
500th. I mean, you know, sky's the limit. It might have to take a while to do all of that, but it's possible. It's a thing you could do.
If one were so inclined.
All right, what's that clear time? $1.09. That's pretty good. That is 1 minute off of my PB for in-game time.
Huh.
So
Nice.
that's a run I
Nice.
can be satisfied with. If I hadn't skipped the ice beam and thrown my entire route off, that
Might have been pretty close.
might
huh?
have been, that probably would have been a $1.08 for sure. That might have even snuck under to a $1.07. But regardless, I'm very, very happy with how that went. That was a really good run. I think just the one major gaffe of missing the ice beam and then having to correspondingly go back and get that super missile is really the only thing I can think of.
Yeah.
Sound program and sound effects. You go, Kenji Yamamoto. You did good sound stuff. As did Minako Hamano.
Yeah,
Thumbs up. Good music.
I would totally like chill to that soundtrack, even if it's somewhat meant to be eerie. It's still pretty good.
Yeah, it's very atmospheric.
Yeah.
For sure.
Samus has a programmer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She gets her own programmer. She's that special.
Yeah.
It's like an assistant, but much better.
A more powerful assistant. R&D 1. You beautiful, beautiful people.
Not R&D 2 though.
Yeah.
No.
They can suck a lot.
All right. Hang on, because here it is. The two most important words in Super Metroid speedrunning are, as always, Dear Force! What? Samus is a girl?
Now, run validation. Hey!
Yeah,
got
it.
Alright, so I'm gonna do a little bit of goofing for 5 minutes, but I have to reset the console, so one moment. Unfortunately, in typical old game fashion, you have to reset at that ending screen. You can't just hit a button to go back to the title or anything like that. There's like, all right, well, you're done, so you're just going to turn the console off now, right? So we're going to respawn back at Crateria with our almost all of the items. And I feel like going over to that super missile room. Like, I gotta go get that super missile after all, right? Like, it's very, very important. So let's go check that out, quick. And miss my door transition, I guess. I don't know. I'm gonna just... I'm not confident that I have the right setup for this room, so hang on, I gotta figure some stuff out. Okay, yeah, that should be good, I think.
That seems legit.
So, let's just... We'll just fire that, and actually, you know what? I don't need that. It's fine. We actually didn't really... We didn't need that equipment setup, and we don't need that super missile either. Let's just go back up the shaft, and you know, I'm really curious what was going on with that one room in the escape. So let's go check that out quick. What do you guys say?
That one room, huh?
Yeah.
I don't recall that one room.
Well, I mean, the one room that I didn't want to go to because it was too out of the way.
Oh, the 101st item that the people on the internet lied to me about.
Yeah.
Okay, I get
yeah.
you. Yeah.
It's just... Yep, alright, we have 44 1111s.
Alright, okay.
And hey, we have the bombs. Nice.
Oh, wow.
There it is. There's your 101st item.
That's useful.
But unfortunately, I think the Guardian of the Bombs is going to be a little bit angry with us. So, yeah, there he is. Uh-oh.
Oh.
All right, this is going to be a really scary fight. I don't know if I can handle this.
Full clench.
Ooh, that was... All right, we got through. That was a little scary. I also, for a moment, yeah, look at this. I have 11 million energy. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
We're doing all right here. Yeah, take that. Take that, Alcatraz escape. And let's grab that energy tank too, huh?
Huh.
That sounds good.
Huh.
And you know, I heard that I could get additional energy tanks in places. Anyway, you know, let's see if we can go fight Mother Brain again. I think I'm prepared with what equipment I have. I have the bombs now, so I'm feeling pretty good.
Right, yeah. Get where you need to go.
That's fascinating.
Seems to be a problem.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
The game must have glitched or something. Like, I'm pretty sure you guys saw me kill all the bosses, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Like, it's something.
the HUD looks normal.
Yeah, the
I
HUD is
mean,
just fine.
Everything is fine.
It's all perfectly reasonable. I'm sure nothing strange is going on right now.
yeah,
Absolutely
This
not.
is fine.
And actually, you know what? I'm in this neighborhood right now, and we didn't get to see a particular boss, and that's really just a shame. You know, what do you guys say? I go quick, find and fight a spore spawn.
Yeah, I mean, I bet it's feeling pretty lonely. Everybody always skips it.
Yeah.
But first, I gotta get equipped. The spore spawn's pretty hard.
That's fair.
I,
That's fair. It's fair.
I need to make sure that I have this extra reserve tank.
Yeah, it pays to be prepared.
And actually, now that I think about it, I should probably get a extra energy tank too. What do you think?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I
yeah.
only have 14 of them, so that I could take a whole bunch of damage from spore spawn. I mean, everyone skips him, so he must be really hard, right?
I mean, see, he's had plenty of time to do some push-ups. You know.
Oh
get
yeah,
swole.
totally.
Get swole.
Get swole.
Did not skip leg day once.
No.
No, definitely
Does
not.
all of the days.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna go grab this E-tank quick. You know, just make sure we're prepared, right? I mean, it's pretty important to be prepared. And I could get that super missile, but I don't know. I just can't be bothered. It'll be fine.
Yeah, I mean.
I'd grab it for sure. I'd be at 52 missiles. Well, 51 because I have to fire one to open the door. But I'll grab spore spawn supers. That'll be fine. I don't want to get too greedy. I mean, fortunately, despite all the bosses being alive, I do still have the speed booster, and it appears I have a bunch of other useful stuff too, which is kind of cool. So that's nice. I'm sure the fight with spore spawn will be a little bit easier with all of this equipment. I'll probably be able to figure this out.
I don't know, man. Spore spawn can be clever.
That's true. He can be.
Just gotta be careful.
Ooh, yeah. See, he got me there. Oof.
Yeah. Lots of damage, lots of hits.
Yeah.
It's okay. We'll
Good hits.
get healed back up. Fortunately, he drops all those little spores. I mean, him being the spore spawn. Oh, okay, good.
Whoa. That was close.
Oof.
Made it.
That was a tough fight. I'll make sure to grab all these
Get
too.
your 1111s back.
Yeah. The 1111s are very, very important after all. I mean, we wouldn't want to skimp on those.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, hey, here's that really long fall I was telling you guys about. Hey, some super missiles. Nice. Thanks, Spore Spawn. Appreciate it, buddy. I got 54 supers. Pretty good. 54 out of the maximum of 50 in the game. Pretty good. It's a solid effort.
110%.
You know what other things I should grab? Because it's really critical to playing the game well. I mean, you have to have a consistent weapon because your 1111s and your 111s can run out of ammo.
That's right. Yeah.
So
Getting a
you'd better
charge
get the charge beam
Yeah,
so you can kill things consistently. And you know, there's an energy tank down here. I should probably go grab that too, just in case. Like, you know, it pays to be safe. And after I've collected all this stuff, I'd better go save quick. It's... These guys are in my way. So I'd better go get this, just to be sure. I mean, you wouldn't want to run out of energy.
Yeah, you're right there. It's quick hop down the block.
So I have, you know, some. It looks like I still have 11 million energy, so that's pretty good. 11,111,120. So let's. I should probably go save, and you know. Oh, I got hit. Oh no. Hey, let's check this out too. There's
An unopened door.
an open door, and oh no, hey, I went from 11 energy-ish to 90 energy-ish. That's very strange, huh? All right. Anyway, I should probably quick go save because I fought a couple of really hard bosses there, and
right.
I would really hate to lose all of that
I mean,
progress.
Spore Spawn did hit you once.
Spore Spawn hit me, and he's really painful. I mean,
Really
he's
inventive.
spiky and scary. I happen to know that there's a save point right over here, thanks to, you know, playing this in my childhood and it also being a little bit obvious. So let's just, for the sake of safety, let's get a save in here. And then, you know, something's really bugging me about all those ones. I'm gonna quick reset the console. Just because something doesn't seem right with all those ones. I'm really worried about them.
They did look a little odd.
Yeah.
I didn't want to say
And,
anything.
yeah.
Huh.
It's a perfectly normal screen, right?
You know, I mean, that one block didn't want to hang out over in the corners.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, moving up to the 3rd floor.
I mean, I don't know why it didn't just go live next to the 0. That'd be a sensible place for it to live. But, I
It
mean,
would
that's
be,
fine.
but,
It's...
you know, can't be a conformist all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be ridiculous. So let's just start this thing up, and...
The last
Wait, huh?
Wait a minute.
is in captivity.
I skipped this, though.
The galaxy is at peace.
Well, that's very strange, isn't it?
How unusual.
Samus appears to have forgotten that she told us her story already.
Yeah, we already heard this.
Well, that's really weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
Hey, didn't we
Oh,
just
nice, Samus! You got the screw attack already. You're really well prepared for that fight.
Getting right up in there.
How'd you find that, Samus?
And she found color, too, right
Yeah.
away.
I mean, Samus, you had the gravity suit. The gravity suit didn't exist in Metroid 1. Come on. You are totally misremembering these events. I don't know how reliable of a narrator you are anymore.
she's seen some stuff.
I'm pretty sure there's some shenanigans there. Samus must have gotten some form of concussion when bonking her head against that wall in Mount Everest
all
off that diagonal shine spark. Yeah,
will really do a
had
number
to
on you.
had to cause some mental harm. I'm sorry, Samus. I didn't mean to do that to you. But please stop telling me your life story. You've already told me this. This is all old hat. I don't know why you're telling the tale. Also, you already left the station. You can't have brought it to the station. The station's already gone, Samus.
No, she's double leaving.
Samus. It can't be under. It already was under attack.
Yeah,
it can't be.
It's gone. Whoa.
Samus, you
What
are now
is this?
hallucinating.
Oh.
You need to stop. You need to stop this shenanigans. Well, no, it appears to
looks like
be
it's
here.
there.
Yeah.
Oh.
What's going on? Also, my missiles are gone.
Huh.
That's very
At
strange.
least you've got your supers still. I mean, that's.
I have
probably
my
the
supers
important
and my
part.
power bombs. Also, the ones all disappeared, so I'm back to just normal 99 energy, or 1699 energy, as it were. Out of the maximum of 1499, so it's pretty good. It's a pretty good amount of energy. Samus is
A little overachieving,
well prepared.
but
Yeah,
you know, whatever.
It's fine. Hey, it's a hatchling too. Yeah, this is a really vivid hallucination you're having, Samus. Well, let's try and handle this the same way we always do, and Oh dear, this
Oh.
That
is
might take a
gonna
while.
take a while.
This is gonna take a long while.
Yeah.
So, fortunately, this fight does have a failsafe. And by failsafe, I mean, like, it's an intended thing you can do. If you shoot Ridley exactly 100 times, doesn't matter what the weapon, like, supers, they count. Normal shots, they count. Missiles, you don't have any of those. They disappeared. She forgot them in Mother Brain's lair, I think, is really what happened.
Yeah, could have dropped him on the way out.
So Ridley is changing color. No, he dropped it. Hey, give me that. No, hey, wait, you get up. Well, that's annoying. So, I think by now everyone's probably figured out that, yeah, some parts of the game have gotten a bit confused and upset.
Something happened.
So that weird combination of beams, which is not a combination of beams you were ever supposed to have. The game is supposed to prevent you from equipping Spacer and Plasma at the same time. But if you hit left and A on the same frame, you can force it to happen and kind of bypass the safety. And what this ends up doing is, for reasons combination of unknown and probably too technical to talk about, it resets all of the flags in the game. So, like, all of the bosses are unfought, all of the items are uncollected, and the intro is unwatched. So when you save and reset the game, the intro plays again.
Nice.
And due to Samus firing missiles at Mother Brain, it gives Samus missiles for a little bit to be able to fire missiles. But of course, Samus already has them in that case, so then it takes them away because you're not supposed to have missiles at the start, so you just have no missiles. Also, because the screw attack was equipped, when Samus somersaults, screw attack's still equipped, so screw attack turns on when she somersaults. So you can do some really fun things with this, especially clowning on some early game bosses. If you do a charge plasma shot at Crocomire, he will just back all of the way into the lava because that charged plasma will hit him a whole bunch of times. It'll hit him continually as it's passing through.
Nice.
So you hit him once with that and he's like, nope, I'm out. This is nope, this is not for me. Now that I've watched the intro, if I save again, it'll be fine. So if you want to collect an abnormal amount of missiles, you have to do it in the same sitting and basically probably reset multiple times.
Okay.
I see.
So that's the space-time glitch. It's super goofy, and if you clear the game with all of these extra goodies, you can end up with an arbitrarily high percent.
Huh.
Nice.
So I figured it was a goofy way to show off something fun at the end of this while everyone wakes up for what's next, which I think is Super Ghouls and Ghosts.
Ghouls and Ghosts, yeah.
So I think we're going to probably move on to that.
Yeah, we'll
I've-
get set up for it.
I've overstayed my welcome with this run enough, I think. But hopefully the extra, 15 minutes over was worth it.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
So, alright, we're going to do some setup and move on to Super Ghouls and Ghosts.
Yeah, see you after the break.
So, see you in a bit.